Hi, this is Josh Dull, PIDP 3230, assignment number 3, Informal Assessment Strategy. I'd like to introduce to you the classroom assessment technique, the documented problem solutions found on page 222 of Angelo and Cross's Classroom Assessment Techniques. This strategy is a formative assessment technique designed to track learners' thinking and assumptions about a procedural concept when tasked with a problem-solving. The desired outcome is a snapshot of students' conceptual understanding, assumptions, and attitudes that may help the instructor adjust or augment instruction in a field that requires problem solving. And it's also to foster the learner's understanding of their own problem solving skills and techniques. At some point, students need to become aware of how they solved problems and how they can adapt their routines to deal with messy, real-world problems. So this technique will not only provide students with an opportunity to look at how they think and solve problems, to see how others might solve the similar problems, it will also provide the instructor with data about students' conceptual understandings of key ideas or processes and the state of their problem-solving skills by documenting specific steps students take to solve these problems. So what principles drive this strategy? Firstly, the strategy is ongoing and requires practice. The thinking and writing skills necessary to express the thoughts behind the process may be weak, and this notion of expressing these steps may be foreign to students, so they may need support in learning to structure and organize their thinking and express techniques. They may need to have a couple shots at this, so give them practice. Not all students can do and explain. Secondly, because this strategy may challenge a student's ability to express their thinking, this strategy will become more valid over time. While the strategy may emphasize during the first attempt may not be what the instructor is looking for, it may be the second or third time around when the validity of this technique is realized. This would also speak to the reliability of the technique. If students are practiced in self-analysis and expression, this technique will increase in reliability. Thirdly, once this technique is familiar and students are comfortable with it, it will provide a snapshot of a full range of skills and attitudes necessary for something like troubleshooting. This strategy will assess all parts of the process, from students' initial assessment of a situation, compiling possible causes or faults, evaluating possible solutions, and evaluating outcome and effectiveness of problem solved. This strategy will all become a part of the learning process with students fully aware of the intent and the potential benefits to learning clearly stated. The strategy will be clearly communicated to the learners with the emphasis on the learning explained that procedural aspects of the topic will be the lens used to examine the insights gleaned from the process. The process of expressing step-by-step procedural choices will have clear benefits to the problem-solving skills involved, and the value will be clear to the students. If you can share your thoughts, the process becomes clearer and ownership of it easier. Lastly, the strategy offers a variety of expression methods for the students. They could make a short video describing the process and thoughts behind the choices, or they could construct an infographic or flowchart that highlights the choices made in solving the problem. So in what context would this strategy work best? The skills of troubleshooting and service in the trades is a complex group of skills that involves high-level conceptual understanding of systems, physics, and materials. So if a brick is weak, the structure of troubleshooting can crumble. With this strategy, the documented problem solution strategy, weak concepts and assumptions student may have can be flushed out. It can highlight gaps in understanding, and especially in procedural knowledge. Because troubleshooting is nuanced and requires a detailed understanding of the system in question, What students bring to the scenario would be one focus of the strategy, and how they proceed, what strategy they use, and what knowledge they bring to bear would be the other focus. The strategy would need to be introduced early in the course and built upon more than times. Some of the limitations is that, of course, I am also assessing their communication skills. So this challenges the assessment's validity. Some students may have hard feelings about being asked to write or show how they solve. But the advantages, metacognition, critical thinking, encouraging students to think about their thinking, to listen and examine how others think about their learning, and the opportunity to see a variety of strategies to solve one problem, giving students the idea there are more than one way to solve a problem. So what are the best practices for this strategy? Well, of course, make it ongoing, as I've said before. Try it on more than one occasion and build on it. Encourage students to reflect on their past successes and issues they had with the strategy. Then, of course, feedback. Complete the feedback will be the final block of this technique in providing short and succinct insights and suggestions and thoughtful analysis of the data and plan response. So how would I provide feedback to my learners? I might provide a flowchart by way of a handout. So the feedback would include 2 or 3 options at the forks, right, where choices are made. And then showing the results of these choices. So students would hand in their documented problem solution, and I would pick maybe 2 or 3 excellent ones, 2 or 3 ones that had some issues. So this could also be incorporated into a game scenario where students get to choose from a range of solutions and evaluate those results. So we look at choices made, the consequences, options, and use the data. So once the initial results are shared, this also provides an opportunity to extend the learning, asking which of the solutions is best and why, asking the students to evaluate successful solutions and expand their understanding. As Dwyer says, a fundamental skill for making decisions and problem solving is the ability to collectively visualize the structure of a shared problem and use this knowledge to design solutions and strategies for collective action. Further learning could stem from eliciting discussion from students using the feedback and asking them to evaluate the strategies and choices.